families who said, we're in real trouble here, and we need someone who's going to talk about these issues. And so after I talked to lots and lots of families here in the Commonwealth, I decided that this was the right thing to do, and that's why I'm doing it. I'm out here to speak for middle-class families, and I'm out here to be part of the families who are going to start pushing back.
I know that you were out today on your announcement day for 12 hours today meeting people across Massachusetts. I want to quote to you one of the people who you spoke to, a 25-year-old woman, later said this to a reporter. She said, she told me that she really wanted to fight for the middle class, that they've been hammered on for a very long time, and if things didn't start to change, we'd be in big trouble. But I'm not sure if any one candidate is able to turn things around for an entire group of people, especially with the way things are in Washington right now. What's your response to that young woman who you met today? How do you overcome that hopelessness about D.C. that exists among so many people right now?
You know, I've been told a lot of times about what's not possible. I grew up in pretty tough circumstances, and I fought all my life for everything I've gotten to do. I was told when I was down in Washington we couldn't have a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and the reason was because the largest lobbying force ever assembled on the face of the earth has said no. They've said they'll kill it. They've said it won't happen. And, you know, my view on that just meant then you stand up and you push harder. You push back. You don't step down. Now, we're talking about the whole future of the middle class. I mean, things are really tough out there. And my view on this is that means we just have to fight back. I am not giving up on this. I am ready to take this fight all the way to the floor of the United States Senate.
Scott Brown's campaign has already bought a derisive web address to use against you, QueenElizabethWarren.com. Which I don't exactly know what that means. I guess they're trying to portray you as a rich person or representing rich people, or maybe being a foreign person. I don't know. What are you anticipating about how your opponents? I mean, you've talked about the kind of opponents you faced in your fight for the middle class in the past. But what do you anticipate from how your political opponents will run against you?
You know, I don't know. Let the name calling begin. It's obviously already started, but I faced off against the largest banks on Wall Street who said, look, this is how it's going to be. And I pushed back and I didn't step down, and I'm not going to step down here. I grew up, look, I started babysitting at 9. I started waiting tables at 13. I got married at 19. I graduated from a public university, started teaching elementary school. My family didn't have much of anything, but I grew up in an America that invested in me. And that's how I got to do a lot of things. But what I mostly got to do is I got to keep fighting for families like mine. And that's now what I want to keep on doing. You know, there was a time, we came out of the Great Depression. We wrote a set of economic rules, and we spent 50 years growing America's middle class, making it stronger, making it more vibrant. Every generation said, my kids are going to do better than I did. And starting about 30 years ago, we really lost our way on that. So that now we are in a place where middle class families have just been hammered for a generation. It's not just what's happened in the last few years. It's been going on now for a long time. And it's the case that nobody seems to get this. Nobody in Washington. Washington has been wired now for the big institutions, for those who can hire an army of lobbyists. It's not working for middle-class families. And that's what I care about. That's why I'm going to step up on this one. That's why I'm ready to fight back.
Is Washington wired, as you say, for those interests because Washington has been bought? I mean, we've always had a problem of big money and lobbyist influence in Washington, but with the Roberts Court, we have seen that those forces really unleashed in terms of unlimited campaign donations and anonymous campaign donations. If you are fortunate enough to get the Democratic nomination, Scott Brown's already sitting on $10 million, a huge proportion of it from the forces that you have been fighting. How do you compete with that?
You know, I'll put it this way. I can be outspent, but I can't be outworked. I'm getting out there. I was all across the state. I met with people. It was like meeting with family all the way throughout Massachusetts. Thousands of people have come to the website, elizabethwarren.com, and they've said, I want to be part of this. And that's what I really think this is about. This isn't going to be just about me, and this isn't going to be just about money. This is going to be about a lot of people pulling together and making some change that we really need.
One of your main opponents for the Democratic nomination is the mayor of Newton, Massachusetts, Maddow Warren. He has experience in government in Massachusetts as a mayor. You don't have experience as an elected official. Do you see that as a disadvantage for you, something you'll need to explain to voters?
You know, all I can do is say to voters across the state of Massachusetts, I've been working on this set of issues pretty much all of my life. I've been out there taking on special interests, and I've stood up against them. And at the end of the day, we're now going into an election. I'm willing to get out there and work my heart out for this. This is something I want to do because I think it's the right thing to do. And I'll be there day in and day out working. It's all I can do. I can offer what I am and what I've done, and that's it. I'm going to work for this.
Elizabeth Warren, Democratic candidate for the United States Senate in Massachusetts as of today. Thank you for making the decision to be with us tonight on your announcement day. I know that's a hard decision to make, and I really appreciate your generosity with that. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. Best new thing in the world is coming up at the end of the show tonight. Also, Richard Engel will be joining us in studio just ahead. We have a big show.